What do you have coming up, George?
June 12th, I'm doing 30 minutes at the Ontario Improv. I'm very not excited about it.
You're doing 12 minutes?
30.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Medium Podcast. It's your host, Melissa Nami.
And it's me, Connor.
And for today, we've got, for the second time, comedian podcaster George Ferido.
It's me, George Ferido.
High five me, bro. Boom. What's up, George?
What's up? Yo.
How you doing, man?
Good. I keep looking at these swords, and I feel bad for, like, the one person who decides to home invade you.
Oh, right.
You know? That's it. I feel like at this point we're expecting someone to come out with a gun. Like we're kind of desensitized to that. But if somebody comes at me with like a Buster sword, I'm like, hold the phone. Hang on.
I think it's a little better. Imagine they're a fan, right? Like I came at them and I have the Master Sword. They're like, oh wait, hold on.
I'm so sorry for invading your home. They step outside like, let's talk a little bit though. Did you see last week's episode? That's
imagine.
Crazy. How you make friends. How did you guys meet? I was trying to rob him one time, and, you know, fucking Final Fantasy, Buster Sword. I was into it, so.
They like Attack on Titan, too.
Yeah.
That's what you would have? You would have a Buster Sword?
No, I think... Well, I guess... What do you think is the best, like, anime weapon?
Ooh.
The one that was, like, could probably beat them all. I guess this is kind of an opinion question, too.
Oh, yeah.
But...
I guess because this is the thing about weapons. Mm-hmm. There's in the realm, especially in like different fandoms and stuff like that. There's like, can we consider a Pokemon a weapon?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Michael Vick does.
You can use it. Yeah, Michael Vick does.
Really? Who's that?
He's the football player that we used to bet on dogfighting.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Those are deadly weapons for sure.
I feel like a Pokemon is probably one of the better weapons in like an anime.
No, I disagree because you can talk a Pokemon down because they can communicate with you. You can be like, "Don't do this, Dragonite."
But Pikachu's so... I think about all those times with Ash and Pikachu. She was so loyal to the very end. Like, she was beat up on her last breath, and she was just there for Ash.
Yeah.
And it's like...
They have a magical bond that's just like no other, you know what I mean? That's Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. But, like, with swords and stuff, imagine, like, this. If I lose this, then it's gone. It just doesn't come back.
Right, but no, then you get into, like, every weapon user has that moment in the show where... Or even manga where they have to be the hero without the thing, you know? So while you are right, you're wrong because you're also like buff as fuck. So like you could still beat them and get your weapon back, you know? Yeah, Hulk smash, She-Hulk smash, you know, something.
Yeah. Or I guess another one. Okay, not Pokemon. Can I say like being the Avatar is one of the OP things? That's super overpowering.
That's not a weapon though.
Okay.
That is an ability. I don't think that's a weapon.
What do you think?
You're right. I already have an answer for this question.
Okay, go.
Because I've had this discussion. I think Goku's power pole would decimate. You've never seen it break. It's infinite, which means physically speaking, it's indestructible. So that plus, like if he had his power pole now and he went into like God form, he'd be fucking stabbing planets, you know, like just it doesn't stop. It's like dropping the lightsaber perfectly vertical. And so I think that his power pole, I don't know why it disappeared, but I think that would decimate all.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Well, Goku's powerful as it is. So
yeah, and his weapon was truly like it's the extension of yourself, and like he was little, so it lended to his fighting style. So if he had it now, because Goku is OP,
but that's when it comes to like in all animes, all the weapons are extensions of themselves and like their nen or whatever you want to call, whatever the anime is calling it, right?
True, but like Naruto's Rasen Sharingan or his
Rasengan,
but with the Shuriken, his Rasen Shuriken, like that's a cool weapon, but it gets stopped all the time. You know, people just like, meh. And he's like, well, how did he jump over it? You know, it's annoying.
It's I guess I've never seen Naruto. I will agree about the power pole. But my question is, did they get rid of that in the show without explanation?
I believe so.
It just
I feel like it
disappeared
just
one day in
disappears
Dragon Ball?
from Dragon Ball.
I only saw Dragon Ball. I never watched Dragon Ball Z, so I don't know.
Was it in Dragon Ball through the whole thing?
For the most part,
No,
yeah, I think so.
Gohan has it for a little bit. I don't know that it's because like it was in every like Power Pole Extend like that was in everything. But I don't know. Maybe it's just on a shelf in Chi-Chi's house or something. But I use it.
I'm shuffling through all of the weapons I could think of through, and then everything that I'm landing on ends up being an ability, which is like bumming me out a little bit.
But that's
those
that's
are more
cool
OP.
features about those is like when the weapon becomes the ability. Like, have you guys seen Trigun? Oh, his gun becomes his arm, which becomes the planet killer.
Oh, okay.
So the gun is very cool, but then it becomes the Death Star, and you're like, oh shit! It's the One Punch Man of guns.
Have you heard of this? It's an anime. It's called. I think the English title is Last Hero. It's like Inuashiki Last Hero.
No,
I'm probably getting
I
it wrong. It's about this alien life form that comes down and accidentally kills 2 different people. And they're like, oh, we don't want to be noticed that we showed up, so they revive them, but with all of these alien weaponry and like biosynthetic parts. So they come back and they're us. And it's that song that Trippie Redd has that he samples. It's all bang, but they literally, he just points his fingers. He goes bang, and he's just shooting. He goes ka 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 ka.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if that
like
counts as a weapon, that's mine.
That's cool because that's like the new Predator. They have that gun that like attaches to the person and they become the Predator. Did you see that? Did you guys?
I'm afraid of scary
They
movies.
find the artifact and then he's like, the scientist is like, this is crazy, and he picks it up and it just like venoms him. Basically, he becomes the Predator, and like the Predator takes control. That's fucking dope because I really like Guyver. Have you guys seen Guyver? It's a bio boosted armor. It's an alien symbiote suit that he becomes basically this godlike Power Ranger, and he shoots like this big ass sun cannon from his chest. It's ridiculous, but it's gory as fuck. He'll like do like the strength hand to hand thing that every scene has, and then fucking snap his fingers backwards and see, it's exciting.
That sounds exciting.
He snaps the finger backwards, and then you see the blood just spurt from every finger. It's gory as fuck.
Isn't that funny how they get so? This is an anime you're talking about, right?
That they made into a movie. That was my most rent. Like if Blockbuster had stats, that was my most rented movie for 5 years, probably.
Damn.
Guyver 2 Dark Hero it is a good adaptation from anime to film.
That's something I'll
beautiful.
Definitely check out.
Check it out.
And
it's
rare
fun.
too.
It's fun. Yeah. And it's from like 96 or something. So I was like, oh, the fans made this one. Like you like this shit.
And they didn't try too hard, probably too.
Because the first one is garbage.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
You prefer
but it's
the
fun.
second
the
one?
second one, they were like, oh, we know what you want. And that scene where I'm talking about, like, I'm pretty sure it's in the first episode. It's in the first 10 minutes of the movie. You're like, whoa, let's go.
It's funny, like I like Game of Thrones a lot, and I always thought that scene with the mountain and what was his name?
Oh, the Red Viper.
Yeah, and when he bursts his head through his eye sockets, but that happens in a lot of different animes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they got this from anime because I'm watching this from like scenes in the 90s, and they're just bursting skulls left and right. I'm like, this is cool.
There's a lot of like fight choreography that is a straight like lift from martial arts movies. Like a lot of the choreo, like because it is difficult to tell a story with that kind of choreography, you know?
Yeah.
So there's like Jackie Chan scenes and like Jet Li scenes that they'll play like right next to it, and you'll be like, oh, that's crazy. Like it is the choreography that they just painted over. But I think it's nice. It's like an homage. It's like hip hop, you know? Everything's kind of a remix. You got to pull from your inspirations. And I think that's what I like about anime and manga and everything is it is a lineage, and they do pull from like Yu Yu Hakusho is in Hunter x Hunter and shit like that. So I enjoy
when the universes cross a little bit.
Kind of in universe and like the meta of like having, oh, this mangaka learned from this drawer, and that's why he draws his lines this way, and that's why the blood looks like this. I think it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, the animation, everything like that. It's kind of funny to me, like the misconception that these are children's shows just because they're animated. I have my niece is 10 years old, and she told me one of her best friends watches Attack on Titan, and I was just like, no. You know, and it's not that it's even a bad show, but you know, the main character's actively like, you son of a bitch, like, you know, in the English version.
Pretty gory,
very gory. There's, you know,
it's very bleak. It's not my style, but I get why everyone loves it.
Yeah, it's incredibly bleak.
Yeah, it's very bleak. I need levity. I need it. I require it. But I get why the story doesn't have it.
Yeah. So there's a couple moments where we get some rosy cheeks and cute little anime eyes.
You're right. A couple moments in the whole thing.
They kill off the comic relief character. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, like, you want comic relief? Look, he's gonna turn upside down in his gear. That's all you get. That's all you get.
But it's even like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I argue isn't. I know that it was on Nickelodeon. I know a lot of kids watched it. Kids watch it now, but that's because a lot of the what would you say, the themes, they're undertones. Right? Yeah. There's themes of genocide. There's themes of war. There's themes of weapons of mass destruction. You know what I mean? But it's all covered up by cute little anime colors and animals that are crossed with one another. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think I had the ability to like think critically on that level, on like a thematic level, until I was like 24. If I'm being, because I remember being in like AP English and we're talking about the symbolism in To Kill a Mockingbird, and they're talking about it, and I'm going, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't know. Can we ask the author what he meant? Like, I really could not grasp the idea of like a theme. So going back and rewatching everything that I watched, 24 and back, it's very interesting because kind of all fucked up and dark that I enjoyed. It's like, oh, maybe I was a broken child, but for sure I was. I'm doing comedy now, so definitely a broken piece of toy.
Looking back now.
Yeah. I'm coping with my trauma as best I can.
Have you, like, let's talk about that for a minute, because that is a very
start
typical.
The clock, officer.
No. As far as like, that's something people refer to a lot is like the sad jester, right?
Yeah.
And in comedy, what I'm seeing now is, I guess, a lot of that. It is a very common stereotype, a true stereotype, right?
I think so, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know that it's because of comedy or if it's because of like the people that you need, the kind of person you need to be to do comedy. Like, you need to kind of have a service mentality or almost a service personality where like you want to people please for some reason. And I think the job just kind of attracts those sad, because I guess we tend to be on the sadder end of the spectrum. But I think that's because we're smarter. I think that's because we see the world for kind of what it is, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, being a realist.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, and it is a cool feeling, at least for me, to be able to stop that for 5 minutes for someone, to genuinely be like, check this, we're in this box, this bubble, and for 15 minutes, I'm gonna make you forget that everything out there fucking sucks. It's cool to be that person.
It's even more fun when you get to make them laugh at the thing that sucks.
Yeah. Or when someone comes up and just is very grateful. It's a really good feeling that I think I've only experienced, like that gratefulness for the comedy I've only experienced twice, and it was both from people that I'm pretty sure are gonna die in the next 5 years.
Oh,
they're just old people. They're just it's weird that they're the ones who have like gone through life but are so grateful for the moment of like, I just got to laugh. Like, that's the second dragon that I think I'm chasing now.
Tell me about those experiences.
My first one was at a old folks home, courtesy of Juan Cias. I did 20 minutes fucking clean.
Cool.
I don't know how. I guess no.
Fucking clean.
Fucking clean, bro. But like top to bottom, I think my material is not overall raunchy. It's the way I speak and express myself that is the raunchiness, and I understand it. I can stop that. That's fine. Yeah. So I did 20 minutes clean during the day. The show started at like 2:00 in the afternoon in somewhere like Palm Desert, and at first it was in like the lobby basically of the old folks home, where the entry where you would walk in, and on the left is like a check-in desk where you would be like, oh, I'm looking for so and so, and they're like, oh, room 333, go up these stairs, you see that, like it's a big place, but it's in like the main lobby. And it was maybe right after COVID, I remember asking, like, should I wear a mask? Like, will I kill these old people if I go without a mask? Like, what kind of old people are these? And we did it in front of their fireplace, and they set up chairs, and the ladies came out. So at first I was like, this is gonna fucking suck, but I was still getting paid, so whatever, it doesn't matter. And we did our show. I think we all did 20 minutes. And then later, these two black ladies came up, and they were like, thank you. Just thank you so much. And I think it was because they were so wound up after COVID. Like, we've had nothing for 2 years. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for, showing us what you do. Because one booked good people that day, I think. And it was fun. But that was the first time I was like, I don't think I've ever like been brought to tears doing comedy. But that was the first time where I was like, oh my, you're very welcome. Like the thing that I've chosen to do that is the expression of my soul to be received in that way. I was like, this is unprecedented. Like I didn't know that was cool.
Yeah.
So that's the second dragon outside of the laugh that I'm chasing is that connection with the person. But it's so selfish because it makes me feel so good. it fills my soul.
But it's for the right reasons.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself. Like the internal monologue doesn't matter as long as the other person's experience is positive.
It's different when you're receiving gratitude from people. Yeah, when you're receiving positivity, like because you at the end of the day, you were the spark of that.
Yeah,
and what's
the 20-minute fucking spark? Lady.
Who's to say the differentiation between 20 minutes of that spark, right, versus being that person? And no offense to volunteers, all volunteers are wonderful. Love what you do, right? But the person at like the soup kitchen that just fills up a plate and it's like, hey, thank you. You know what I mean? Like that, that's the same exchange to a degree, right? It's gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah,
but you gave them 20 minutes hard gratitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was during the day. I'm a firm believer that comedy does not work at night.
What time was it at?
That was a one-off. My set was probably about 2:30. I think I was the second one to go on. There were 4 of us. Maybe.
It's like 3 hours before their bedtime.
It really is. That's their second nap of the day, I'm sure. I remember walking in and just seeing all the old people, and I just looked at Juan and I was like, dude, are you ready to kill right now? Because somebody might die.
How bad would you feel if that actually happened?
I'd use it as a credit.
Now coming to the stage, we have what would you be of the buddy system? Member of the buddy system, comedian George Ferido has also laid one person to their grave, killed them laughing to death.
And we all know it takes 2 kills to get 00 status. So I just got to wait for one more to die, and then I can be 007.
Do you like doing comedy for old folk now? Would you want to do that again?
I like it because it's challenging for me. I think I don't realize that I unintentionally write for people around my age, and that's not my goal. I would like to also make old people laugh, so I like it because it's hard. Because I have to think about like, I can't give them a Captain America reference. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
it has to be like Rodney Dangerfield or something. I gotta reach into the well, but I like the challenge, so it's cool. But it's not fun.
At what point do you lose connection with the people your age, though, when you're trying to connect with those older people?
True. I think what I'm trying to do is build the structure so that it is. It's like a tactical vest of comedy. Like, this is the situation. Cool. But this there. Let's go.
I have a question for you about comedy.
I'm not interested.
I'm curious.
Comedy? No, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people, and I guess they want me to talk about comedy, but I feel like that's all I talk about, and I feel like it's annoying to most people.
There could be a fun way to talk about it. I feel like no one's asked you this question. I want to ask you this question. If I've asked you this question, forgive me, but have we talked about this?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you know the question. Like, read my brain, producer.
I forget I didn't send you this Google Doc. Have we talked about this? Like, what's worse, bombing or being ignored?
I think you and I have discussed it in passing, probably outside of Brooks or something. That's something we all talk about. Are you asking me personally? What do I think is worse, bombing or being ignored?
In your point of, like, because I recently, I've been where I've bombed, but it was for the first time recently.
Your last bomb?
My last bomb? But what, like 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago at Back to the Grind.
Oh.
Yeah. And that room is tough for me, man. It's fun. It's packed.
Yeah. And it feels very honest. Of like, if they don't get it, they'll give you that look of like, what?
I get that.
Huh?
Yep. But it was just a couple weeks ago. Happens often. I don't by no means do I think, to this day, I think I've only killed one time.
I think that's the right standard to have. I think too many people use that word too gratuitously.
Oh, yeah.
I maybe is my experience, but I think you can only murder a handful of times a year. You know, it's like a perfect red line. You more often than not, you're gonna go over. You're gonna be murdering and then ruin it because you were too in the moment.
Yeah.
Know? But to have all of those stars align, I think is a rarity.
What's your gauge of killing it?
The volume of laughter, I guess, that I receive, it has to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It has to be. And that's only happened to me like 5 or 6 times. And sometimes the room design prevents that, you know? Sometimes it doesn't reach you, but then you have to be able to like vibe it and give yourself an honest gauge.
Yeah.
And I feel like in those rooms, too many people say that they murder because they've just convinced themselves that, but that's not up to you.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be overwhelming.
More times than not, the feeling that I have getting off stage is more of a like, I did well and I know I have something to work with, you know, and that's what my gauge of well is, like knowing like, okay, there's something I can work with here. I just got to write about it or work on it. But the one time I feel as though I killed, I did like an 8-minute set. That's, you know, what I went with was a 8-minute set. That's always been an 8-minute set. But I only performed, when I looked back on other sets, like 6 minutes of it, right? I didn't get to finish my typical, and I'm like, damn, people were laughing that much. Like, it was more of a hindsight realization.
Right.
And that was cool. That was really fucking cool.
What's really cool is not listening to the recording afterwards, because I've for sure murdered at the Ice House one time. For sure. That was the loudest I have ever of laughter. I was like, shut up. I only have 7 minutes. Like, calm down. But listening to that set back is disappointing. But I understand how sound works, and I understand that the phone's not great, and it's also in a weird angle. But hearing back not what I was hearing feels humbling.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it wasn't that loud then, huh? It was. I know it was. I was there, but having that reception of it, have it recorded back and sound the same. I think that's only happened to me like once or twice.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
I listened to the Ice House recording. I was like, damn, what a good comment, but those laughs are definitely not as loud as I was.
From what you remember.
It might have been dopamine. It might have been a drug while I was up there.
The adrenaline heightens your hearing.
Maybe. But
let's bring it back, because again, bombing is typical. Not typical, but I guess, it's not far and few for me. I feel like it happens. I'm working on new material.
Well, I think bombing's a philosophy for some people.
Yeah.
I know of a person who claimed that they'd never bombed because you can't bomb at an open mic.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I can't invalidate it. I disagree.
Yeah.
But, I've seen people bomb at an open mic. If you can't do it, I don't know what I saw then.
Yeah.
But
I'd rather bomb than be ignored.
I think I agree.
Because then at least people are listening to me.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. I don't have any shock value material, like to say things off the bat. Like, oh, something wild, right? To get people's attention. And that's not my style for me to do it just to get people's attention. But I was it was a while ago now. It was probably like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Just people like talking right over me. I was like, damn, I'm on speakers and I could hear you more than I could hear myself. And that felt really crummy. Yeah.
Because I think it you're not feeding that first monster of getting attention.
Yeah.
That first piece of the puzzle of like getting attention and then making them laugh. You're not feeding that first thing, and usually that comes standard of at a show. Someone's amplified. Usually that's enough to just get them to listen. And I think our brains, and you're not dumb, so you understand that kind of almost innately, and that's why it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, am I not fucking plugging in right now? Like, why is my phone not charging? What's going on here? Where's the problem?
And then I realized crowd work works the best in those situations.
Because people like to feel involved.
Yeah. I suck at that. So I gotta work on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we talked about that? My philosophy on crowd work?
No. What's up?
I think it's irresponsible and lazy to practice crowd work at an open mic.
Yeah.
And I think overall it's not I was conflicted. I think the first time we did this podcast, so like, is that where comedy's going? And I think in hindsight, it's definitely not, because it's too unreliable to pay the bills with. You can do a crowd work special, but all those comics still have specials. They still have material.
They do.
And so all these people that are now seeing just the crowd work and just doing crowd work and be like, no, I'm a crowd work comedian. Like, they're not going to last. They're going to fall off, and it's just not going to happen. You're funny, you know, regardless. And that's kind of why we do this. We make everyone laugh. We make everyone laugh off the cuff. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
And so people that are like, I'm good at crowd work. It's like, but you should be.
Yeah.
You're doing this. I know you can talk to people and be funny. So I don't know if that's a skill you have to practice, because then it might take away the pizzazz of it just being you.
Yeah. When I say practice it, though, I more so mean like take advantage of those moments where I see it's available. Not so much trying to curate that moment.
Right.
Because I do
walk
agree.
yourself into the next bit.
Yes, I agree with you, because that's so corny. You know, hey, what do you do for work? Hey, what are you doing here? Hey, what do you...
Yeah, oh, they already asked you that? Sorry, I was outside fucking around, not paying attention to the show.
That's corny. But there's like those moments where things will happen, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, you know, in that moment you have a decision. Do I stick to my material, or do I deviate for a moment and take advantage of this shared experience?
Right.
And more often than not, I usually glaze over that shared experience and stick to my material. And that's where I say, like, practice.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
I feel riff is good enough practice. Because what is crowd work other than, hey, what do you do for work?
Interacting.
If someone says lawyer and you don't have anything funny to say about lawyer, then
find a lawyer.
Yeah.
Find someone. Then you start doing the ghost whisperer thing for the crowd. You'd be, you know, the ghost whisperer is always like, I'm looking for a male, female. It's just cousin. Just start with the A-E-I-O-U. Uma Thurman was her favorite actress. Yeah, so what's her name? Kristen. You know,
you're making me think of the South Park episode.
You start feeding out lines. That's what I do. Like if I got lawyer and I had nothing, I'd be like, all right, so who has a lawyer? Anybody you've been to a lawyer? What was their name? You know, like
Sweet James.
Yeah. I hate his commercials. Like, dude, you're not even trying on these.
I think it's such a trip because, you know, he's all over the place, Sweet James. And he was married to, I forget, I think it was Orange County. But he was one of the husbands for one of the housewives. And she was laying down some dirt. She was like saying, oh, for our anniversary, I got him a threesome, just like letting out all of their dirty laundry. And I was like,
what podcast is this? Put that in the description.
It's like season 3 of Real Housewives of Orange County.
Damn.
Yeah. They got divorced, and I told Chantel, I was like, it's because she keeps on talking too much. Like, she needs to shut her fucking mouth. This guy's a lawyer. Yeah. He can't just be letting everybody know his freaky wantings. You know what I mean?
You can call an ex-wife a crazy bitch. You can't call your wife a bitch.
Yeah, right.
And like, you have threesomes? That bitch is out of her mind. No, that's why I left her. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah. It was in the season. It was like he filed for divorce. I was like, bitch, you're talking too much, girl. Just shut your mouth. But yeah, and now whenever I see his little
green screen ads,
yeah, I'm just like, what's up, dude? you're wild.
You are pretty sweet.
to everybody else around him. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
What a nice guy.
But it's all interesting. Let me ask you this. What do you have coming up, George?
June 12th, I'm doing 30 minutes at the Ontario Improv. I'm very not excited about it.
You're doing 12 minutes?
30.
30 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird to say I'm headlining. Because I don't think I'm a headliner. But I don't know. Maybe my career is supposed to be like a fucking tater salad guy and not Kevin Hart. You know, maybe I am supposed to be just the one hustling so long, and then I pop so late that like I have material now. By the time I am a recognized comedian, which has got my question actually. Do you have any desire as a comedian to be famous?
No.
That's weird to me, because I know that there are plenty that do, that are doing it to be a good comic, but are also doing it for the recognition. And I disconnect. I don't get it. That's too much. You're going to have everybody talking to you all the time.
I'm so bad at saying this word, and forgive me when I mispronounce it.
N-word?
No. Really bad at mispronouncing that one.
I'm not.
I know how to say it just right.
I enunciate.
I'm bad at, if, let's say, the time ever comes where I get to do this as a job, and for some reason I get to a certain level of exposure where I lose my anonymity, that would make me really bummed out. Just because that's something I appreciate.
Yeah. I see, like, when they're like, Kevin Hart coming to Flappers, his new material show. I was like, oh, that seems embarrassing for me. I don't want my fans to watch me suck at the thing that I do.
I see that a lot now, like, oh, Wanda Sykes working it out or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't want to reach that. I want to be able to just kind of still create and do it and feel free about it. And that's weird. That's what's weird about the 30 that I'm gonna do, is like there's gonna be a lot of people that have seen me for years, and they're gonna see a lot of the magic tricks that they already saw. But on one hand, like, I'm sure they're enjoying it, but it's not necessarily for them. So I'm conflicted. And that's why I say I'm not super excited about the show, because I want it to just be another set. I want to just be able to relax and do the thing that I chose to do. And so I'm trying to keep myself from getting too excited about it, but also it's not my first time doing 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not my first time doing, I've done 45. I'm trying to keep it casual and fun, because that's my problem with like a lot of Netflix specials, and maybe I'm just a hater, but it doesn't feel the experience that we get in those specials now. It feels very curated. It feels very meticulously put together. They're wearing the same outfit for a whole weekend, recording 16 shows almost, and giving you the best parts of those. When my experience with comedy is live and in the room and messy and real, and that's what I want to deliver.
Spontaneous.
Kind of. Yeah. Like, I'm not a crowd work comic, but I've had to do crowd work plenty of times.
Yeah.
At a Guzman show, shout out to George Guzman. There was a guy in the back that was heckling, and it was the beginning of the night, and I was like, fuck, dude, I have to address this. I can't let it happen. As a host, I cannot let it. That's my job.
Yeah.
And so I put him down. And I kind of felt bad. Like I didn't like doing that, because it's like, that's not what I'm here for, dude. I'm not here to hurt your feelings, but I have to, so you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I don't. That's why I don't like crowd work. It's too inconsistent. I'm not here to ruin anyone's experience, but talk, and I fucking will. Sometimes it's fun. That's what I like doing in hosting. I can roast comics. They're fun. They can take a joke, but also sometimes nobody tells them, like, hey, stop laughing at your joke. Move your fucking mic stand. I'll tell you that on stage. I don't care.
Yeah. I always think that's pretty humorous when you're able to do it like that, because it's still fun. You know what I mean? I appreciate that type of humor. But let me ask you this, because, the way that you say it is like...
You didn't have questions.
I do. You said that you've done 30, you've done 45. Do you think the thing that's kind of making you feel that way about it is that it's your first time placing it under like the guise of headlining under your own buddy system show at the Improv?
Yeah, there's a weird like separate pressure from it, because it would be cool to be booked as a headliner. I don't think I'd have a problem with that, but like having, I guess, on one hand, my personal craft that I am displaying, and then the professional craft with which through I am now doing the thing, putting all of it out there in a single night and a single show feels very vulnerable. And so it's like, I just want everyone else to do good. I'm going to do my job and we'll get the fuck out of here. Like I just don't want to fuck up anyone's night.
Yeah.
So it is a difference. Like the angle of pressure is always different. It's been very difficult for me to try and actually enjoy any of our improv shows, I think, for that reason. Like, I want it to go well, because it's all of me.
Yeah.
Back end and front. Like, this is all. Like, I'm pushing out the graphics. I'm making the graphics. Creatively speaking, you're seeing what I see in my brain, and then you're going to hear what I've been talking about in my brain, and you're going to sit in essentially this castle that I've built, and I hope the roof doesn't cave in on us.
Yeah. We'll be there supporting.
And I appreciate that. I do. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but it's a lot sometimes.
No, I get it. I get it. Especially, like I said, it's your thing. It's the buddy system. You're presenting the show, you're presenting yourself. It's, you know, it's not only your material, but it's what you've curated not beneath you, but like coming up in front of you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, these are like the people that I've wanted to be like, look, check these people out.
Yeah.
Fucking, this is cool, right? What we're doing out here is real, right? Right? Oh my God, tell me.
And that's what's cool, because I was going to say, like, when I first started coming around and I went to your guys' first improv show, you guys had people who I've never seen again come, you know, they performed there.
Yeah.
And that was like the first two, I think. And then the last two.
It felt necessary at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What felt necessary
to bring, and I think it was, in hindsight, I don't know that I was wrong in that, or that Aaron was wrong in that decision. But just like what we've built up was not big enough to kind of just stand on its own two legs. We needed kind of outside help to push the shows and make it seem more legit, because we were still starting out. Our first improv show was probably in our first like 3 years of doing it. And we didn't have anything really. We might have just lost all of our venues. I think we I don't remember how we got it. I don't remember the circumstance, but I think at some point we did lose all of our venues, and we had to hurry up and find a couple, and that's how we ended up at the W, you know, long story short. And in that rush of like, let's see who will let us put on a show, is how we kind of accidentally got the Ontario Improv, you know, because we got connected to the manager. We told the manager what we were doing, invited him out to one of our open mics at like the Getaway. He came by, he liked what we were doing, and it was like, all right, let's give him a night, and gave our information, sent that up the chain, and then they responded to us.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but we weren't expecting it. We were just like, there's no other clubs. Like, let's just see if they like, there's no other clubs, and there's no one doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So let's see if they'll just give us a shot.
I think that's really cool. And that's kind of, that was where I was so curious. I was like, what took you so long to have you and Will? And I mean, I wasn't around when Aaron was here, but I'm guessing he never did it before. But I'm like, what took you guys so long to have yourselves headline?
Yeah.
You
know? The reality of the situation. We're not, you know, we're not headliners, I guess. But in terms of just like collected material, it's there. And I was telling someone that this 30 for me is less about like the headlining and more about like this, I'm going to do it, and I'm pretty done with it. Whether it's recorded and put somewhere or not, it's like there's a lot of jokes in my first 5 minutes, essentially, that I'll blow my brains out if I have to do it again. It works. I know it works. It's reliable. I will continue to do it, but I don't want it to be a live joke that like, oh, this is in my set now. Let's take that 30, throw it out the window, and see if I can still do this damn thing. And
then you're done with it.
And then I quit, and I stopped doing comedy.
That's not
I'm
true.
over it.
Imagine that's your way of telling us like, okay, peace out. The buddy system's over.
I leave my gloves on the stage. I unplug the mic and I put it down. Like, see ya. Good luck. I don't know what's happening on Tuesday. You tell me.
So many people would just leave so confused.
Yeah.
Lost.
Yeah. Then I sell merch, and I'm out of there.
And then
just
you're good to go.
Last fucking thing go.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah. Since you've come in though, I mean, have you refined your writing process in any way, or did you come in kind of knowing what works for your organization style and stuff? Because, you know, this is a creative process.
Yeah.
But you seem pretty organized for as long as I've known you. Has any of that changed? Have you? Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Unfortunately, since the start of this, I have lost a little bit of that balance. And I'm feeling it in my lack of preparation and things like that. As far as the style of writing, like as far as like me journaling and like, you know, working on that and then working on my tags and stuff afterwards, that still seems the best. I've noticed that I grow the most when I go to more mics.
Yeah.
And that's always hard because driving's so hard when you do it so much.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, God.
I know. Every time they're like, they're fucking auto cars. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I want it like iRobot, where you get in, you lay down, it goes 85 miles an hour, and you have no control.
And
that's what I want.
Yeah.
Just,
fucking, I'll risk my life for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I trust the computer now. I don't need the technology to be refined. Like, whatever.
You shouldn't. I don't trust technology, and it's all I do.
Technology. Yeah. You've taught me that too. I'm like, wait, it worked a second ago. Why isn't it working right now? I hate it.
Quantum physics.
Ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
Yep, ghost in the machine. Yeah. But writing, what I'm trying to do now is work with my time more intentionally, trying to delegate, you know, this free time to working on the podcast, delegate, driving time to thinking about jokes and my set lists, because that's a lot of dead time that I'm just like listening to music or podcasts or whatever. But it's evolving every week.
Sit in silence?
Yeah. Often.
Psycho.
Is that weird?
It's not my default, and I have to intentionally do it, but I think that's weird. I think that's odd, because it lets your brain just go.
Yeah. Well, also the times that I drive, it's like 4:30 in the morning. It's peaceful. It's quiet. It's not, it's not like I'm driving by and I hear little blurps of, Offset and then Mariah Carey. It's like people's music and stuff blaring around. It's
what
quiet.
I like about driving in silence, you can hear the bugs hit the windshield.
Yep.
Oh, I'm killing families over here, aren't I, right now?
I like hearing the treads of the tires. Those.
Oh, you should get in my car. There's no insulation. You can hear everything.
Everything.
You can hear the dog go.
Do you have a different writing process from the last time we talked?
No. I've tried to just focus on doing the thing that I'm doing and do that more often is all. I think if anything, I write less, admittedly. Not saying that I don't have to, but everything's cooking up there. It's in there. I know it's in there.
It's always, you're thinking about it.
Yeah, the notes are kind of a crutch at this point. It does help to organize a set list, but if I don't have it, like, I'll make my set list on my phone and deliver the same product. I know how to work out the jokes and what the skills are there, the ability is there. It is on me, I think, and I think that's why when I bomb, it's more disappointing.
Yeah.
Because like I have certain expectations of myself now, and to consistently not meet those, it's like maybe I have to step back and be more realistic about where I'm at. So then there's more vulnerability, and I don't like that.
You're realistic, though.
I try to be.
I feel like so many people that we surround ourselves with, and exactly who you are, I hope. Unless people, maybe I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe they're just not self-aware, but they're so ego-driven.
Yeah.
And that's such a trip to me. Because I hear that, like, when you just said, like, it's overused, killed, I murdered. I'll hear people be like, oh, I just murdered down there. I'm like, wait, were we in the same room?
I was on a show where someone was like, sold out show. And I was like, no, it wasn't. It was not. You don't get to use that and get the free clout from it when it wasn't. That doesn't feel gross to you? Sold out. I'm pretty sure half this room was papered. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even think we sold half the room.
People are fibbers, dude.
I don't like it.
It's definitely a trip because it's like, who are you trying to fool but yourself?
Yeah.
Because if you're truly
and
just
who does that help?
Yeah. If you're working on your craft, you're not going to be looking at someone's like, damn, they did that.
Yeah.
It's you're giving yourself like a false ego.
Right.
Which is kind of a trip to me.
Yeah, it's not. You're gonna burn out. That candle will burn out eventually.
Oh gosh.
And that is why. Again, that's why I throw my name in the bucket on Thursdays. Because why cheat myself and get a good spot?
Yeah. Like, what is a good spot? You never know.
Right. What is a good wave? Yeah. You don't know what the next one's gonna come. Just that's the hand you're dealt. Do it. Do the damn thing. Is this not the fun for you? I don't. That's why I don't connect with those people. That's why LA sucks. They're all so concerned with being liked.
Do you miss that kind of melting pot that you would experience in places like Burbank and when you'd go out to Claremont, Flappers and stuff like that? Because that's what would occur, right? Is more of a melting pot of the different scenes all kind of coming together.
Yeah. I didn't like it because it made me feel like I didn't have any friends. Because I would be the one just going to random mics and just kind of hanging out. I'm not a social person, so just everyone's in their own little thing, and I'm just watching them.
Yeah.
And then I leave.
It's nerve-wracking to go to a new place.
I like it.
I don't.
I like it. And nobody knows who I am. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like knowing you can dunk a basketball and nobody knows for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden just bash. I know, right? It's crazy.
You're all surprised.
Yeah, and then leave, and then they go, "Who the fuck was that?" Like,
I'm not saying this in a way where you should feel like pompous or whatever. I'm presenting it in that way, but like, do you really think you go to places and people don't know who you are?
Yeah.
Like when you go to local scenes?
Yeah.
Really?
Because it still happens. Yeah.
Really?
For sure.
Oh.
100%.
That's kind of cool.
Not as often. It is a little more difficult. I would have to go to kind of like entire different cities now.
Yeah.
To do that, but yeah. I still get
cool.
I still get the hustle and obscurity for sure. Still gets a bomb.
You've lost a level of anonymity there with the buddy system amongst comics.
I think so, but I think so, and I think it doesn't bother me as much because it's fairly recent and it was by choice.
With Instagram and everything like that.
Kind of, yeah. Like I could do it everything kind of from a distance for a long time, and I got the opportunity to kind of bring my personal level up to a level where now when people come to see the thing that I do, they're gonna see something that's good. Yeah. You can be like, oh, he's doing it. I get it.
Doing it.
Yeah. I've hustled to a point where it's like, I can do this. If you come see me, I'm proud of the thing that I am doing. I may bomb that night, but you'll see that I have the chops.
You're trying.
Yeah. So I didn't have to, there's no like vulnerability there in terms of like when I lost my anonymity. And I think that's the problem is when for a lot of other people, that's not up to you.
Yeah.
You know, when you go viral, it's all of a sudden you wake up and now you have 10,000 followers and you're the person trying to fill up gas at the gas station.
Yeah. But it's also kind of cool, like for a comics level, you still kind of have a certain, it's not like you're Brad Pitt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you could blow up and you could be like a Burt Kreischer. Ooh, maybe you.
Maybe I am handsome.
But I've heard of stories of like Burt Kreischer going to a restaurant being like, oh, like, thank you for giving our family privacy. And they're like, yo, we didn't have any idea who this guy was.
Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, that's just what it is. It's like, yeah, he's one of the biggest comics around right now, but you're going to go somewhere where people don't know who the hell you are still.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the draw and appeal of comedy to me too, is that you can be Burt Kreischer, because I think we forget that we're kind of insulated in this
little niche community.
Yeah, and it is a very small community comparatively to entertainment as a whole. Yeah.
I forget what monologue it was with Joe Coy that he did that was terrible with all the celebrities. What was that?
No.
Golden Globes, something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right? But it's crazy because, like, when we hear Joe Coy, we're like, oh, top comic. He's been around forever. He just produced a movie that was an all Filipino cast. Like, how many people could do that? But he goes to a room with A-list celebrities, and they're like, who are you? Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait, you guys don't know who he is? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and the way we consider mainstream is not even on a lot of people's radar.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I've always thought was so cool. I'm like, that I'm paying $30 to go see who my Brad Pitt would be, right? Like, let's say, or like your Justin Timberlake, because I really like, when I went and saw Tony Hinchcliffe, I was like, oh, this is so cool. I watch his podcast. I'm
a fan.
Yeah,
and I can see him in real life
for $35. Mm-hmm. I'm like 10 rows away.
Yeah,
because I showed up at a good time.
Yeah, that I think that power though is like it's almost, you can take it too far, and that's why. TikTok stars and everything, like to that reachability, that connectability that we have towards celebrities through social media, like that's why TikTok stars get booked Friday, Saturdays at the Ontario Improv, but have never written a joke in their life.
Yep. Isn't that a trip?
Yeah, it's weird. It is too much of a good thing almost.
It makes me mad, George. I know you watch Vanderpump Rules, right?
Me too. I have. I get it. Like, there's
a girl that I see now on frickin' flyers, comedy flyers. That girl, Bobby Lee.
Oh yeah.
She never made me laugh once in that fucking show. She had so many opportunities to do little jokes,
just little quips.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And she's
all
because of what?
Yeah.
All because of what? Because she was waitressing at the right place at the right time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she'd wear a tablecloth for a uniform.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes me mad. And I mean, even think about that. Tom Sandoval now, he's like a musician.
Yeah.
He gets to rock out.
He's not a musician.
He does covers of
Come on.
He plays an instrument. Yeah, he's not a musician.
He goes up on stage and he plays the bongo wearing bell-bottom jeans, and everybody goes nuts. Not everybody, but his fans. But like the fact that those doors were open just because,
because of a box that everybody would stare at with pictures on it. It's crazy.
It's funny too. Like, I mean, it wasn't my time because I was a little younger than like my sister and stuff. But I mentioned Theo Von to her, and she's like, "Oh, the guy from Real World or Road Rules." She mentioned one of those MTV shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait a second. Theo Von was on fucking Road Rules."
Wait, what? Was he?
It was one of those. You could look it up. It was either Road Rules or Real World, and he was like
Real World versus Road Rules. Yeah. But I mean, so was like Christina P. and like you forget that all of those people that are like now were in the industry then.
Yeah.
And that was the only way to get in. You know, that was the thing you did to get on TV, to get your credit, so that you could just do it. Yeah.
Reality TV shows.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you do a reality TV show?
For sure. 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one would you do?
But it's got to be fun. I don't want to just do like Big Brother or
I was thinking that I always wanted to do Big Brother when I was younger, and nowadays I'm like, fuck that.
No, I don't. You're gonna get unfettered access to me for per diem? No way. That's not enough money. You're taking a lot from me.
Yeah, it's months and months.
Yeah. I mean, I would do something like the challenge. That's fun. That seems cool.
That's the one where they actually do like a bunch of different
or
obstacles
like the
and
Amazing
stuff like
Race
that.
and stuff. Like because I need an activity. If you allow me to just exist, I'll just take a nap. I'm not good TV.
Does American Ninja Warrior count as reality TV?
Yeah. I know.
so.
I know a girl who climbed at my rock climbing gym who does it, and is like a fitness Instagram girl, and
That is so cool.
it's cool. She's strong as fuck. It's interesting because I knew her from a distance because I was doing YouTube videos when they were doing YouTube videos back in like the that before the thumbs up. It was the stars and
Oh, yep.
I remember that.
yeah. So when they were all doing YouTube videos, and I still lived in Hawaii, and I would watch their groups kind of like sketches and stuff that they'd put together. So I knew her from a distance, where she was like this scrawny girl. And then I moved to California right about when she started rock climbing, and I saw her just get shredded.
Damn.
Like crazy shredded, just naturally, because rock climbing's tough. And then I met her, and like she doesn't know that I know her from YouTube, but I met her and we had conversations, and she'd pop in at the gym and we'd say hi.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting kind of watching her from a distance. It feels very creepy, but it wasn't intentional. She was kind of a background character in the YouTube videos. And then you just try to network with those people, so we were just kind of always following each other. But yeah, she did the challenge as well, I believe.
That's so cool.
Homegirl fit.
That's dope. See, and I like American Ninja Warrior. I don't, by no means do I think I could even make it past like the first fucking course right now. But give me like a year and a half if I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah, give me some time.
I could get ready. I would start stretching and making sure I'm like limber and pliable and ready to do monkey bars and stuff like that. I could do it.
Yeah. You could just rock climb.
Go for it.
Yeah, you could just rock climb.
Do it.
I used to do this thing at the gym where I would try to always do 100 floors on the stair climber in less than 15 minutes. And what I would watch was American Ninja Warrior.
Nice. I can do that. I got it. Give me 2 weeks. I got it.
It was always like a nice little challenge as far as a cardio
Have you done
goes.
like a mud run or a Spartan race or anything?
I've done a color run.
Oh.
Yeah, like a 5K color run.
Super gay.
It was. When I was working for Anytime Fitness back in the day, we would, go and have a booth there, and we would be participants, and then we'd, run a booth and hand out T-shirts and keychains and stuff after the run.
That's cool. I do enjoy the camaraderie around those events.
Yeah.
But you got to do one. How have you not done one? You're about to turn 50. How have you not done one of these crazy sign a liability in case you die runs?
I'm down to. I think we talked about doing a Spartan race.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm always down. The sprints are easy.
Chantel was ready to train with me, and we were both going to be like down to do it with you guys. And I was game, but I think I broke my hand, and then I had to rehab it. Yeah, I know.
Dummy.
I hate it. And it was all my fault.
It was. Stop breaking your hands.
I know.
Stop hitting your girl like that. Use the palm. Did you not watch Miss Congeniality? Just the palm.
Isn't that like supposed to go up the nose? That sounds like it would hurt.
In general.
Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
What is it? Kiss or scream? What is
Sing.
it? Sing. That's what it is. Sing.
Solar plexus, instep, nose, and groin. Sing.
How many times have you watched this movie,
I
George?
think I saw it like last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think she's gorgeous. She's hot.
Give me some buddy system scoop.
Some scoop? Oh, there's nothing to scoop.
What's going on with the buddy system?
Nothing. There's nothing ever going. Which is the weird. That's going to be my answer because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing the same thing for so long that it's just part of my life now.
Yo, not really. The whole thing with Back to the Grind is relatively new. It's only 5 months old.
True, but the whole thing
like
about doing comedy on Thursday is just like 7 years old.
Oh yeah, I guess.
So my day hasn't changed. We're out earlier, which is great, and we're with a venue that is very supportive of the arts in general.
Yeah.
Very supportive.
Always have been.
Yeah.
Love
Shout out
Back to the Grind.
Yeah. And the vibes are just right. And so that was, I think I've told you that
they
was
have ice cream.
Yeah, Back to the Grind was always the dream room.
Yeah,
that's the room that you want if you're trying to do anything in downtown Riverside. And it's that, but downstairs is perfect. And there is something just mental about like, I am walking down these stairs for this thing.
Yeah,
and it just makes for a better show in general. And it's a great space. So now that we've done it, now that we've there, like I'm out of things to do.
Do you ever want to I know the W is itself as a venue coming back, but once it's available, do you want to go back?
I'm out of time.
Yeah,
I kind of like where I'm at. It gives me just enough time to do the things
I think that's a cool answer.
Yeah, it's cool. It should exist without me.
I think it's the evolution.
I hope so.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And I love that there's ice cream at Back to the Grind. Sandwiches,
coffee,
ice cream, smoothies.
Yeah. I definitely spend more money at Back to the Grind than I did at the W.
Really?
For sure.
Because you're buying food and stuff like that.
Food and it's like, you know what? I want a cookie. You know, I want a small Thai tea. I already had a large Americano. I want a small Thai tea.
I love the little desserts that they get because they switch them out like bi-weekly. There's a different baker, featured little bakery going on. Ooh,
yeah, so small businesses supporting small business is cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool, and I think the owners have seen that we're doing something, like I said earlier, that no one else is really doing.
Yeah,
and it is advantageous to anybody that wants to bring that into their space with open arms.
Yeah.
And they do. So we have a good space. I think the production's cool. I like the way it looks now. I think we've dialed in all the little details.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I'm enjoying it. But in terms of a scoop, I don't know. There's nothing going on. There's nothing new. We're focusing on the June 12th show, ontario.improv.com. Buy your tickets now. Promo code BUDDY. I'm just trying to get better now. I think I spent a long time making sure everybody else was good. Didn't work, so so I'm gonna just do me. But buddy system stuff is kind of me too. So
it's kind of like where I have noticed as a bystander, it almost feels like the intention of the buddy system is shifting a little bit.
Does it? What does it look like? I don't know what we're doing. Tell me. Help me.
I think the trajectory is again. When I first came up, you had comics at these improv shows that I haven't seen again. Maybe I've seen them booked on another show here and there, scattered out, whatever. But now what you're doing, as far as, if someone understands the intention currently about the improv shows that you're doing, is you're showcasing the IE.
Right.
You did it with the last one. You had all IE comics, the people that work out, right? Again, present, I was there. It was awesome to be a part of that with the people that I work with, right? You're doing it again this year. And I feel like that's the shift of the intention. Like, I guess, like you said, you didn't have the legs.
Yeah, that was always the intention.
It was.
That was always, because very early on, I think you asked, like, if I missed that melting pot of the LA all coming together, and I wasn't part of that melting pot. I think that's what I realized early on, what was missing in being able to pursue comedy actively. What you need people around you, around your class. You need a kind of social circle to be your battle buddies.
Community.
Kind of. Yeah, just some support, even if it's from afar, but just people that you connect with. And I saw that in Riverside, there were enough of us that, like, we should all be connected.
Yeah.
We should all just do this thing. That's why, that is why everybody gets posted in the collage. That's why everybody gets tagged, so that those introverts that are uncomfortable to be like, I don't know who that was, can add those people. Yeah. And now you can network. And now you can also look at you can look at the montage that I put together and be like, oh, I missed a lot. Oh, shit. I wasn't there. Fuck. Yeah. All these people are getting better than me. So it's twofold, but that was always the intention, to build a community, give me a space to do this thing and show everybody else that is also doing this, has a knack for it.
Then maybe what I'm noticing now is that you're able to highlight your intention a lot more intentionally. It's so fucking stupid.
Every time you say it, take a shot.
No, but for real, right? Just a shot of right. But it's true. Like, every single time that I look back at it, it was just mainly, again, people that I've never seen. And I think that's what I guess I'm noticing now, is that you're highlighting it.
Yeah. And I think it's good that we are now, because there's a lot of people that, how do I say this? Think that we should do more for the comics. And I'm out of things, like I don't know what else I can do outside of giving everybody a space to do it at least once a week, having a show to work a longer set out on, and then having a big show to showcase the talent. I don't think there's anything else outside of give you a sitcom that I can do for anyone else's career.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's my job.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
So
I've heard people express the same things, and in my head I'm like, I don't know how you expect, let's just talk about you solely because you're here. Like, it's like, how do you expect George to set up, put on, run a show, and also simultaneously give advice, hold people's hands, guide them through this tricky thing called comedy, and still manage to do it yourself?
Nobody takes advantage of that either. Nobody asks me for shit. Nobody asks me, like, what'd you think or anything? People just be drowning, and I'm the lifeguard, and it's like, oh, that sucks, huh?
Do you want people to ask you?
At this point, yeah. If it'll help, because it's the same, like, 5 tips in different ways, shapes, or form. But if it'll help you get better, yeah.
Critique me. Give me an honest critique right now for everybody to hear and watch me cry.
No,
zoom in when I start crying.
It's difficult because it's like I can give in the moment performance notes of like, this is what you did, this is why that doesn't work, this is what you should do instead.
Like, because I haven't asked you that personally in a long time.
Yeah.
When I first started, I remember asking you guys like, yo, is this the right way to do it?
Yeah.
But now I realize
I benefited from that. Ken Pringle, everybody hated him, but he was the dean of comedy at Flappers. I think he's now the dean of comedy at the Comedy Chateau, I believe. I got an email from Ken Pringle recently, but
Pringle like pop?
Yeah, like the can.
Cool.
He's done things, but he was the host of one of the open mics at Flappers for whatever duration it was. And he said at the beginning, like, if you want notes, I will stay after. I will sit in that corner and I will give you an assessment of what I thought you did tonight. And that was very beneficial for me, whether he was a person or not. Like, he gave me a kind of an unbiased perspective. Yes, it was a plug for his comedy school. He's like, come here and we can go through all the basics. But that's when I realized that everybody asks the same questions and everybody needs to work on the same thing.
Yeah.
And so if somebody asks me at their set, I can be like, move the mic stand. That's 80% of it. Move the mic stand. Stop dancing around it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Just simply that.
Kind of. There is something.
I know I don't have that problem. I put it behind me.
Oh, I see what you did there. There's something just psychological too about owning a space, not having an obstruction in your performance space. I think there's something that just allows the audience to connect with you better, whether that's true or not. It just feels that way.
Yeah.
And so, anytime someone's got the mic stand in front of them and there's one of my friends around, I'll go, I can't see them. Mic stand's in the way. Can't see them.
I get it. It is distracting.
Right?
Even the stool could be distracting if you don't move it around. I've learned that the hard way.
To walk around the stool is not weird, because then you're going to be like, what are you, playing musical chairs? Like, you're not supposed to touch a chair anyway. Stop it.
I guess you're right. I learned that the hard way. In hindsight, I was on stage one time. I did my whole set, and then I saw the next guy go up and just move the stool. I was like, oh, that would have been cool.
You can do that? I didn't know you could do that.
That would have been tight. But it's just nerves, you know what I mean? Sometimes nerves are louder than logic.
Yeah, you want to focus on, like, I'm doing this. And
that's where I try to remind myself, like, I'm still just a wee little lad in this little thing called comedy.
Same, though. Like, me too. There's I'm closing in on 12 years, but even then I know comics that have been doing it for like 20.
Damn.
Yeah, and it is interesting to kind of see anyone doing it past 15. It's a weird level of commitment to this toxin that you're like, oh, you're kind of a legit comic. If you 15 years seems to be like the standard of like, oh, they're just reliable now. Okay, cool.
Really?
Yeah, because I've booked 2 now, and both of them I would say I haven't seen actively going up anywhere. They get booked here and there and do their thing, but it's almost like a Boston comedy, and then like they know they're 20 minutes though. Yeah. They know it front to back is sharp,
and it's the same 20 minutes they've always used.
They'll do it, and I want to hate, but I can't, because like I asked for the product, they delivered. And all right.
I recently went and saw Dave Attell, and he told a joke that landed a little flat. And it was funny because, I don't know how many people, it was a sold out Brea Improv.
Nice.
And me and Chantel, we both looked at each other when he said it, but the joke fell flat. And I don't know who on his lineup he said it to, but really quick, under his breath, he's all, It's called new material. Try it. And then he continued. And I'm like, I know he's not saying that to us, right? He's saying that to someone who just opened to him or opened for him, right? But I recently, when I've been trying new material, and if it lies flat, that's what's going through my head. It's called new material. Try it. It's like, I'm glad I tried it.
Right.
I'm proud I tried it.
Yeah, absolutely. I threw it out there, and it needs some light, you know?
So
you need some heat to make a katana. You need some pressure.
That's right. And I enjoy that. I really enjoy that. I'm learning.
Yeah. And then you tell a joke that you thought was going to land, and you're like, oh.
Yo,
way
that's
to take
the weird
my
part.
Soul out.
Sometimes the tried and trues just land flat too, and you're like, wait a second. This has worked 8 times out of 10.
Immediately I go, oh, it's a me problem. I did something weird. Then I'm like, shit, is my zipper down? Like, is there toothpaste on my jacket? What's going on? I did that perfectly.
Yeah.
Why is it not working right now? Is the mic stand? Where is it?
I have a random question to ask the both of you.
Yes.
Just because recently I've been working at a high school, and I walk around and I see the students now, and like, I'll just start off by saying dress code no longer exists. Kids wear all sorts of wild stuff. Everything's allowed, right? Spaghetti. When we went to school, no spaghetti straps, no flip-flops, no nothing, right? And I look around now and
fingertip.
Yep,
length, yeah.
The fingertip rule. That was a thing. That doesn't exist at all anymore. I saw a girl at a high school, wearing a sports bra just to school.
Oh.
I'm like, this is wild, right? And then I see what's cool now. I'm like, do you think you'd be cool in high school today? The both of you?
Accessories and attire, yeah. In terms of personality, no. No, definitely not.
You're like, I got the swag, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't think I was cool in high school when I was in high school, so probably not.
But that's the thing, is like, when you're in high school, you don't know what it's like to, when we're at our age now, we should know what's cool.
I mean, I guess the things that I was into in high school now are cooler nowadays than they were when I was in high school.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Like,
I wore a lot of like just kind of in things. Like it was in style, but it wasn't like the style.
Did you have a faux hawk in high school, George?
No, I spiked my hair.
Okay.
I spiked my hair, and I used those colored spiker ice gels.
Okay.
And I had a silver chain, one of those flat Puerto Rican ass chains. Yeah, I had one of those. I wore a lot of like Fox Racing and Alpine Star T-shirts.
There we go.
I had Jinko jeans with like my Ken Block DCs. I thought I was cool.
Yeah.
But I was a dorky ass kid.
I look around now, I don't think I'd even be 2% cool. I think in high school, when I was in high school, I think we were both like 20% cool, at least minimum.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, like I was on the running for most likely to brighten your day in the yearbook. You know, like, we had a positive impact on people. But now I think I'd be the kid eating alone.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I talked to my mom too much.
Any of those accolades.
Really?
I didn't even get a nomination.
No?
Yeah, which was rude, because I knew I was the funniest in the class, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Every class. It didn't matter.
Knowing what you know now, would you have tried to do like a stand-up comedy club in high school?
No.
No?
No, I tried to start a paintball club my senior year.
Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have gone to class as often as I went. And that's saying something, because I usually didn't go to class.
You didn't go very often.
My senior year was a breeze. We had 3 classes a day, and I think I skipped at least one every day.
Damn.
Yeah, because they were like 2-hour classes. So you'd have your first and third and fifth period classes on Mondays, and then 2, 4, 6 on Tuesdays. In my senior year, I already had all my math credits, so I didn't go to my calculus class. I just skipped all that shit out. And then I was also a TA for my a science class, so it counted as my science credit.
Yeah.
So that was my morning class, so I'd show up to school at like 11 o'clock. Because that teacher was cool, and as long as I brought breakfast, it was fine.
Damn.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, he would let me like play Xbox in his classroom. Like, we would play Halo and shit. But senior year was a fucking breeze. It was
Senior
great.
year was super easy.
It was
for
fun
me too. Yeah.
Dang.
I had one class. Yeah, I had one AP English class, and that's when I was telling you that it was challenging for me, so that's why I liked going.
Yeah.
I could not critically think. That's why, and I knew that I was like, this is hard, but I like it. That was the one class that I would go to consistently. But everything else, I was like, I'm just here so I can go to driver's ed after school, and then I can drive.
Yeah. It's cool. We both had the same teacher that I credit personally. I think we talked about this probably recently. Mr. Herrera.
Yeah.
He's who was my literature teacher back in junior year. Same thing, AP honors. I forget which one it was. And I credit him for all of my literary and, symbolic tools that I kind of know now and I have in my back pocket, or like observational tools. I'll be watching the movie. I'm like, oh, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to critical thinking and when you're watching something
and looking at things thematically in that higher frequency. Maybe it's a higher frequency.
Yeah. It's both at the same time, because you're taking it at its bare minimum and then also trying to figure out what it means in the future.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is always so much fun. I love.
And a good life skill to have. It's hard to execute something without being able to think about things in that way.
Oh, yeah.
I see it all the time. People trying to put on shows but didn't think it all the way through. And went 2 steps in and was like, all right, I'm going to do this, but didn't think about like, all right, but how are you going to get all of that there
together?
Yeah, you have a Honda Civic. You're going to make 3 trips, or what are you going to do? What's your problem? And that problem usually becomes my problem.
Whenever you're present. Yeah, I get that. I was we did you had me on your Strum Brewery show, and I thought that was pretty cool, especially because Connor, you came by and you were with Jason, and you brought fatty chops and all this cool stuff, right? And it was neat because there was like a little moment there. I was like, oh, like a bunch of these people have been on the podcast.
yeah. That's why I was like, is it weird to be like, oh, I heard you on the podcast? And I was like, oh.
I don't think that's weird, because I feel like I noticed them approach you in the same way. Like they're like, oh, I feel like I know you almost. Like, what's up?
No, it's cool. That was interesting. It was your podcast too. It's an expression of you. That's cool. It was dope.
He's introduced me to a lot of really neat people. Thank you.
Yeah. You've introduced me to cool people too.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the comedy scene are really cool.
It's a cool little melting pot that's been coming together here, and we're trying to find more different types of expression. Like we have the owner of VIP coming on soon.
Nice.
Which will be pretty interesting.
Nice.
Especially like I've never talked to a freaking bar club owner ever. Right?
Yeah, especially one that owns like one of the only gay bars that's been around for a long time.
Right.
That is the VIP.
Yeah.
This is for important people.
Does the buddy system want to strictly keep having, or the buddy cast? Do you guys want to keep having just comics on?
I don't know that like want to keep having, but I realize that regular people aren't necessarily good at talking.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really lend to good conversational podcasts. So I think the format kind of limits us to having just comedians over.
For sure it does. And it's kind of hard to find people that that are going to be like able to be in front of cameras and be, expressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or even just hearing yourself is odd. So there's a lot of new things going on that I would love to just talk to regular people, but I think that I just like doing that. I like talking to regular people.
Yeah.
I like meeting regular people with career jobs, and because I have questions. I was like, so you got promoted?
What is that like?
You get reviews? Wait, hang on.
Your company's legitimate?
You get benefits? I have to be off the clock before I hit 5 hours. Like I have to be. I'm making minimum wage right now. Explain to me how you live your life. I don't get it.
Yeah, you're interested in that.
Yeah, I am. I like to connect with people that way. So I think my service personality maybe that's for me.
Yeah. It might be a silly question too to ask, but I feel like there's so many people that have something to say about the buddy system. You know who you are again, right? Have you ever considered having one of those people come on your podcast?
Yeah.
Just for a point, not like for contention.
Not even after the fact, maybe not so recently, but a lot of those people, I'm pretty sure I've offered to be on the podcast.
Really?
I'm like, hey, let's get you on. Let's talk. Let's go.
Let's hash it out.
Not even that. Like, let me hear your perspective. I'm interested in because I think I've asked you too, or I asked everyone that's new. I was like, how did you find us? Like, how did you get here? Like, we're not exactly on the map in any way, but you're here. How are you here?
Yeah.
So I'm interested in how people view us from the outside and what it looks like. Because I'm in the forest. I don't know. I don't know what y'all see.
You're in the fog. Yeah, you're in the thick of it. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like it. I appreciate you for everything you do, George.
I try. It's mutually beneficial. It's a symbiotic relationship.
All right. And I understand that you're feeling very indifferent about your improv show, which you're headlining coming up June 12th at ontario.improv.com. Did I get that right?
It's going to be good. It's gonna be good. I'm indifferent about me and my experience, but I think I put on a good show.
I want you to think like big MTV energy, you know, welcome to my crib, this is where I live. I want you to plug your show like your fucking life depends on it.
Okay. Right now?
Yeah.
Right now. Like to which camera?
Which one you pick?
Yeah, actually, this one's probably the best. Yeah,
I should tell these people.
Yeah,
I should tell these people, you viewers, I should tell you that you need to come see I've chosen to do comedy for 12 years. 12 years of my soul has been put into this right now. And you are going to see 7 years of that come to fruition on June 12th. If you need tickets, go to ontario.improv.com. June 12th, there's going to be an entire room full of people who do this damn thing too. I've been doing it for longer. I've been doing it for harder, and I'm poor because of it. Please just come to my show. It's going to be so fun. My friends are hilarious. I might do okay. I have to be honest. I have to be honest. I can't just tell you all of that and be like, it'll be fine. But the night will be fun, and you can buy a hoodie afterwards. It'll be a good time. Come say hi. Come on. There's yeah. The hang afterwards always better because the show's done. So come say hi then. We'll take a picture. It'll be fun. Yeah. And here's the thing. It's not going to be my last time there. It's not going to be my last time doing 30 minutes there.
What was the date again?
June 12th.
June
8 p.m. Show starts at 8. Doors open at 7, so you can have dinner.
Ontario Improv, right?
Ontario.improv.com. Look for the buddy system. It's a Wednesday promo code buddy for some kind of money off. Some sort of money off.
Woo!
Something will happen.
Yeah, I think. Or it'll just say error, in which case that's not my problem. Sorry, I tried.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
I like that.
It'll be fun.
I tried to add the adlib.com, but I'm not good at it. I should have learned how to be a hype man. Yeah. Oh. In the background, just gun noises.
Yeah, I'll get a gun noise soundboard. Just a bunch of different gun noises.
No, it needs to be anime sword sliders.
Yeah. I'll throw some swords in there.
I don't think it translates. It's not loud enough.
Are those letter openers that she's clacking together?
They are.
Those are dope letter openers. Could you? That's what I was saying. Like in the beginning of this podcast, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be the guy that tries to rob this house and then you die. Why? Because a toy stabbed you in the neck. Like,
yeah, that'd be pretty lit.
Like not even a real one, but like a collector's item. That's how you died.
There's something scarier too about someone rushing you with a sword.
Yeah.
From your favorite child. Like again, I'm just imagining the robber also likes Zelda, but it's like to know you're gonna die with one of your favorite childhood.
To be ran at in the dark with the Ultima Keyblade, you're like, whoa, what the fuck?
I'm pretty like convinced that anybody that's grown up on anime or loves like say Kingdom Hearts, like you just referenced, they're no criminal. They can't do it. They have too good of a heart.
That's true.
You're right. They're no heartless.
They were taught hard work, respect, and everything like that. You're right. Because that's a lot of the themes too for a lot of those animes is just.
Yeah,
hard work.
It starts. All of those animes start in darkness. Like, have you seen Baki the Grappler? Mm-mm. It's interesting because it's one of the few animes that it'll say on like Netflix, like Baki the Grappler or Baki Hanma, and they all seem like different shows, and you're like, oh, where do I start? But it's one of the few that you can just start.
Yeah,
you get it. It's a bunch of dudes. They like to fight. They're the best. I've gonna fight.
Baki.
Yeah. It's one of the most homoerotic animes that
it's the one he's like jacked, right?
It's like
they're
uncomfortably big guys.
It's such a good, interesting contrast though from like the typical like big boobs, big hips anime, and it is great because there's no female like attributes that are highlighted, and the artist's knowledge of anatomy is 100%. Like he knows what muscles are on what muscles and what are under there is perfect.
He makes them all flex and they're all gross.
Yeah, it's grotesque.
It's all gross.
It's grotesque.
Yeah, it's grotesque because it is like it's battle. What I was saying is like it is still a very lighthearted anime, but all of the themes start in darkness. It is about abandonment. It is about people pleasing. It is about if you dig into it further, like the war between China and Japan and how people were tortured and stuff. But if you don't know history, you don't know that, and it does just look like a weird, gross, grotesque cartoon.
Interesting. You guys didn't sell me on it.
I personally I didn't like it that much.
Y'all use the word grotesque like 6 times.
Yeah. It is. It's visceral. It is. What it does is it lends that physicality to the experience of martial arts that you can't really perceive without doing it. but
Yeah.
he can show you, because it gives you that like, oh, it's gross. Because if you think about martial arts, it's just two sweaty dudes rubbing up whether you like it or not, they're rubbing up. It's gross. It's oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the dude's
That's how you
fighting.
feel when you watch it.
Yeah, it's very exaggerated, is what it is.
He fights a praying mantis at one point. It's kind of ridiculous. If you're gonna watch anything, watch Guyver. It's cool. It's
Okay.
better. It's cooler.
I'm gonna pass on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend most to watch Baki.
It sounds like the show that you recommend when you want to troll your homies. Like, yo, you should watch this.
That's what One Punch Man started out as.
Really?
Yeah.
When you wanted to troll your friends?
For sure. Because it is like, the counter anime, and
Just so OP.
It is very counter anime.
yeah. And so when someone's like, "Oh, you like anime? You should check this out," and then you're like, "What?"
It's so funny to me. That's
Yeah.
what I see. It's a comical anime to me. I love it.
Yeah, totally.
I love One Punch Man.
I love the meta analysis that it's doing on itself at all times.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yep. He's like, why am I like this?
Yeah, why did I choose to be? Yeah, not just why, but I chose to do
I don't
this.
need
Why am I here? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
I like that.
So you're a big anime fan.
I'm a big art fan, but yeah, I think I watched a lot of anime. I actively spent a lot of my childhood searching for anime. It's kind of my same experience that I had with comedy. It's like I didn't know that's necessarily what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But I knew where to get those kinds of things. So, yeah.
I like it. Hell yeah, George. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you
another one of
guys
these.
for having me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all watching. Thank you for being here.
I'm excited for the June 12th show. It's all my friends on there too.
It'll be
there.
fun. I don't think anyone's really seen me do 30, so that'll be the fun part.
I'm excited. I haven't.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be my first time.
Yeah.
I think the most I've seen you do is 15 minutes. And that
Probably.
was the last show, right? That's what you did was 15?
Maybe. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be fire, but it's in and out. We're going to be all in the hallway before 11, y'all. So come hang out. We're going to get drunk afterwards. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to Krispy Kreme because I have 2 Krispy Kreme gift cards.
I usually try to go to Krispy. Oh my God. I usually try to go to Krispy Kreme after the Ontario Improv
I try to
shows.
get there early to go before.
Really?
Yeah, I used to like going, like when the mic was being run by Will, I'd go to Krispy Kreme before, get my set together, have my coffee, and then park, and then go to the Improv.
Oh my God. See, that would just put me, I would pass out in my car afterwards because I would just eat the dozen donuts and not make it to the mic.
I eat half of one of those. And
I've
I'm
brought
hurting.
donuts. Yeah, but apparently that's the thing. Like, they're like, oh, it's too sweet. But I'm like, if no one's going to eat these donuts in the green room right now, I'll eat it all. That's fine.
Yeah,
But
that's insane.
I didn't know that people were like, no, it's a lot. Like,
It's too much for me.
I'm
yeah.
fat. Sorry.
No, it's way
Wimp.
too much for. I like rich food sometimes, but
Wimp.
yeah, I'm a little bit of a wimp.
You're a wimp.
Actually, I don't even really like the flavor of Krispy Kreme either. I
Stupid
said it.
wimp.
I don't even like the taste that much.
I'm going to fight you, dude. Stop
We
it.
should both fuck him up. I have 2 swords for this wimp.
Dude,
I can't eat a donut.
I buy a dozen
I
and
love
2 more
donuts,
for
not
the
Krispy
drive.
Kreme.
Like, to get home. If I don't buy one for the drive, I'm reaching in that box. Like, it has to be. It's too good.
Yeah, 'cause
I'll
you're
I'll eat them
tough.
fresh. I'll eat one fresh,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah.
That sounds still like an obligation.
I'd rather have any other donut.
Sissy.
I'll eat donuts. I'll eat donuts.
They are really sweet. And it doesn't help that they're dripping in hot oil when you get them and they're hot. You're just.
They do perfectly fit your mouth. They're that size.
Well, you know me also, Melissa. I'm not a fan of fried food very much, so
You know me.
you're very much so a fan of fried food.
We're pro-trans fat in this house.
Yin and yang on that one. I'm going to be a type 2 diabetic in the future intentionally.
We gotta stop talking about food, or I'm gonna go solo to Korean barbecue.
Hell yeah. You don't have to do that. No, there's also no shame in doing it if
Yeah.
you do decide to do it. I do. I've done it before. Have you ever eaten Korean barbecue alone?
No.
Oh yeah, I've done it
I
before.
didn't know they even let you in on your own.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You just sit down at a little spot. I mean, maybe not if they're busy.
They're like, you don't have friends? You're gonna have to wait.
I don't know. Now you got me curious. I'm gonna go try it. No, I'm just
Is that
kidding.
the
I
one
have
right
no
here?
reason to
You've
do it.
gone to the one right here alone?
No, I used to go to the one when I would work in Corona. I would be at the Riverwalk, and when I wanted to go to lunch, it was Country BBQ back in the day off McKinley.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever go there?
I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's a Jen around there too now.
Now
right?
Jen
Yeah.
is across the street from
Yeah,
where it was.
yeah.
But you remember Country BBQ?
Yeah.
That was like the first one that was in Riverside.
And they let you in alone?
Yeah.
Because they didn't know the rules yet. See, that's why.
Wait, is that a thing? Is it really? You're not allowed to go in alone?
That seems like a waste of everybody's time if you're in there alone.
Oh my God, you're mean. You're mean to solo diners, George. What the fuck is your problem, bro? I'm gonna go try it just to. I mean, I don't want to.
Let me know. They're gonna be like,
I physically
Melissa
cannot.
for one. You're like,
I physically can't. If Chantel knew I went alone, she'd be like, "Why didn't you just wait for me?" Because those were in my olden days.
No.
You know, my solo rider days.
Solo's fun though.
Hell yeah! All right, we're wrapping it up.
Yep.
Everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and go to the Ontario Improv Show on June 12th. You. Bye.
Thank you.